Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim and today we're talking about my recent trip to Epic Universe. Hey, it's been a while since my last video. Sorry about that. I've been traveling a lot and I've kind of fallen into a new fandom hyperfixation. Anyway, I am trying to get back to regular uploads now, and I've got a lot of great new content planned in the next couple of months, so subscribe if you like theme park stuff or if you want to see more from me. I also have a theme park playlist that I'll link below and up here in the cards, and you can check that out as well. Now, I did get a chance to visit Epic Universe in March during the Friends and Family previews, but half the park was still under construction at that time, so my experience was pretty limited to just a couple of rides and one show. But that meant that this week was my official first trip to Epic Universe, and I wanted to talk about what I liked and didn't like about the park. Don't get it twisted. This isn't a bashing video. If you know anything about me, you know that I'm a OG Universal fan with a capital F. But I do have some opinions about the new space, and I have a YouTube channel, so here we go. My friend and I stayed at Stella Nova from June 11th through the 13th. We got our tickets for Epic all the way back in October of last year when they first went on sale. And when we were buying them, we decided to wait a couple of weeks after opening day to make sure that all of the kinks were worked out. I wasn't sure if they were going to do pass holder previews, and by the time they had announced them, I already had a trip to Colorado booked, and I never ended up going to any of the pass holder previews, which was fine. Honestly, I was happy to wait for the full finished experience, and I honestly can say that it was a great experience. I'll get more into the day at Epic in just a minute, though for now I want to talk to you about my experience staying at Stella Nova. So while check-in for the hotels at Universal are officially 4 p.m., which is crazy if you ask me, but we can't get into that right now. We did try to set up an earlier check-in time. It was an option on the app, so we tried to check in at 2:30 when we booked. But when my friend went to the front desk, they did say that the room wasn't ready and that he would get a text message when it was. Now, cut to us sitting in the lobby for an hour, waiting for our room to be ready. And normally this wouldn't be an issue, but we had a reservation at Bar Helios at 4:30 that I wanted to get ready for in the hotel room. So imagine my surprise when it's 3:30 and we're still waiting for our room to be ready. My friend goes back to the front desk to ask for any updates about our room, and the person at the front desk replies that that's weird, our room has been ready, and they don't know why we didn't get a text message. Okay, great. So we get in our room and we get ready quickly now because there's less than an hour until our Helios reservation, and the way to get to the Helios Hotel from Stella Nova is ridiculous and time-consuming. Welcome to my first real complaint of the video. Epic Universe is too far from the main Universal campus for there to not be direct bus access between Epic resorts. Let me explain. For those that are unaware, the OG Universal Resort is here, circled in red on the map, and Epic Universe is about a 15-minute drive south, circled in blue. Now, Universal spent a lot of money reworking the main roads between the parks to make bus travel between the two campuses easier, but it's still about 15 minutes even by Universal bus. If you're staying at Stella Nova, Terra Luna, or Helios, and you don't have a car, or if you just don't really want to be driving your car, and you'd prefer to stay on property for fun activities throughout the day, then you are in for a real treat. Sarcasm. Being that I only had a one-day ticket for Epic Universe, we figured that on day one, we would get to our hotel, explore a little, visit the other hotels, and then explore those too. I personally love a themed hotel, and I was really looking forward to seeing the bars and the restaurants and the amenities that each of the new resorts had to offer. But in order to travel between the hotels in the Epic Resort area, you have three options. The first option is to drive your own car, which means you either have to pay for parking or spend $75 at one of the hotel restaurants and bars to get parking validation. The parking is only valid for 4 hours, though, so you have to be aware of that. Being that we were going to Bar Helios to drink, I definitely didn't want to drive my car. The second option was to walk along the main roads to get between hotels. This would have taken about 30 minutes at 4 p.m. in the Florida summer heat. Also, a storm was already rolling in, so obviously we did not choose that option. So, our final option, and the one that we picked, was to take a Universal bus from our hotel all the way to City Walk at the main campus, and then take another bus back from City Walk to Helios. This was a trip that took a total of almost 45 minutes round trip, a trip that could have taken 10 minutes if we could just get direct bus access between the Epic hotels. Again, this is a brand new resort area without anything to do besides Epic Universe or the hotels. The least you could do is provide a shuttle for guests to go between the hotels so that they could explore. There isn't even a bus from Epic Universe to Helios, so we couldn't take a bus from Stella to Epic and then Epic to Helios, which would also have been a fine option. Obviously, Helios is attached to the park, but I doubt that there was a lot of thought put into this part of the guest experience. It's my hope that in the future, there's not only easier transportation between these resorts, but that maybe they plan on designing a City Walk Part 2 for this area. Give the guests more to do on this side of the resort, especially since it's so far from everything else. All right, so we ended up getting to Bar Helios just in time for our reservation, and I've got to say it was absolutely worth both the aggravation and the heavy price tag. Not only is this place immaculately themed, but the views are out of this world. It's located on level 10 of the Helios Hotel overlooking Celestial Park. If you get the chance to go to this bar, I definitely would book it at night for ultimate viewing experience. The prices for this place were a little crazy, but in my opinion, the food was totally worth it. They have a great Greek mythology themed cocktail list, and the one that I got, I don't remember what it was called, but it was delicious and pretty potent because I was a little tipsy off of just the one drink. But it was the food. The food was amazing. My friend and I shared the meze plate, which was pita bread with baba ganoush, hummus, and olives. And then for our main, my friend got the Wagyu beef sliders, which I'm told were delicious. And I got the steak skewer, which was perfectly cooked and totally tender. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. It was absolutely delicious, 10 out of 10. The total bill ended up being about $150, so extremely pricey, but we were on staycation, so money doesn't matter. So when we were finished, we took our long bus trip back to City Walk, and then from City Walk, we got on a bus to Stella Nova, and then we explored the hotel when we got back. It was pouring rain by then, so the pool was shut down for the night, but on the third floor, there's a hallway of stars, and a maintenance worker was fixing them, but he was very kind and let us get some footage of it anyway. I really like the simplicity of this hotel. I know some people think it's boring or that the lobby theming is lacking, but I get what they were going for. It's like futuristic, minimalism, modern, and I think for a budget hotel, it was totally serviceable. The rooms were nice too. We got one on the 5th floor with a decent view of Epic Universe. But that was the end of day one and my review of the hotel. Would I stay there again? Sure. I mean, the price is right and the location to Epic is very convenient, but I'd probably only stay there if I was only going to Epic Universe. Otherwise, I'd probably just stay at Cabana Bay or one of the surfside, dockside hotels. The next day, we wake up bright and early for our Epic Universe adventure. And when I say bright and early, I actually mean about 8 a.m. because the Epic Universe hours for our trip were a little bit strange, which leads me to my first complaint of the park. The hours for Wednesday at the park when we went were 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., with an hour of early park admission or EPA at 9 a.m. for hotel guests. A 10 a.m. opening is very strange compared to other theme parks in the area. A lot of other theme parks around here open at either 8 or 9. So it's a very interesting choice to open at 10. The more annoying thing is the choice to close the park at 9 p.m., especially when in the summer it barely gets dark before 8 p.m. Epic Universe is truly a park meant to be enjoyed at night, and the place lights up so beautifully by design, yet guests get barely an hour at night to enjoy it. It seems rather silly if you ask me. 9 a.m. openings, 10 p.m. closings. That's what it should be at the very least. And I'm guessing that because it's a brand new park, the techs need maybe more time at night so that maintenance checks can be done. But I'm hoping that as time goes on, we're able to get longer park hours, especially in the evenings. I don't want to sit here and walk you through my whole day because I'm not trying to be here forever, and neither are you. But I'll just want to hit on all of the high and low lights real quick. Something I really liked was how they did EPA. They let absolutely everybody that was in line at the front of the park into the park, but you could only enter the portals if you had a room key card. I think that's a great way to keep the long lines from gumming up the entrance of the park. What I didn't like was how close that their security checkpoints were to the ticket entrance. That was a traffic jam and a half. I don't know why they chose to do it like that. I don't know if there's any plans to change that in the future, but it's a real mess at the entrance of the park, I gotta admit. We started our day in the Dark Universe, which in my opinion was the right choice because it seems like absolutely everybody else in the world went to either the Wizarding World or Nintendo. So we waited less than 10 minutes for Monsters Unchained, and it was even better than I remember. A lot of the effects when I went in March for the team member preview weren't working, so it was really nice to get the full experience this time. I just love that ride so much. The animatronics are amazing. Unfortunately, the Curse of the Werewolf was down all day, so I once again could not experience that ride, which is unfortunate because the Wolfman is my favorite Universal monster. I will get on that ride eventually, but at least we got to see the Burning Blade Tavern catch on fire. That also wasn't working for my trip in March, so I was excited to finally see that in person. So the next ride we went on was Stardust Racers, and guys, let me just tell you, I cannot handle big coasters anymore. It wasn't as intense and scary as I thought it was going to be. It was actually a really fantastic ride, but I personally got off of it feeling totally nauseous. And I think for me, it might just be a one and done situation. We'll see how I'm feeling the next time I visit and whether or not I want to try the green side. But as of right now, the yellow was enough. Another thing I really like about Epic Universe is the way that Universal has finally seemed to figure out the locker situation. At every ride that required lockers, they were located at the very end of the line. That meant that guests in line didn't have to stand for hours without their bags, phones, and medications. I also really love how the lockers were double-sided, so you don't have to fight in one small cramped locker room with people who are both trying to get their stuff out and put their stuff into a locker. They really figured out the locker situation. I am a huge fan of it. So we spent about 12 hours in the park, but we ended up having to leave just before nightfall thanks to a storm rolling in. But I will say that we were able to get in just about every ride that we wanted to get on. While the wait times were high for most of the rides, we waited, I think, 2 hours for Donkey Kong, almost 3 for the Ministry of Magic. We were able to complete every ride that we wanted to go on. The only ones that we missed were Curse of the Werewolf because it was down all day, the Dragon Racer Rally because that's not really a ride that I'm interested in going on, and then the Yoshi ride, the Mario Kart ride, and the Constellation Carousel we also missed because the lines were very long and to us those were just not worth waiting for. We did get to catch the park's 2 shows though, the Untrainable Dragon and Circus Arcanu. Both shows were absolutely amazing and a perfect escape from the hot weather. It's nice to see that Universal is finally putting effort into some shows. And now, if only they would bring some of that effort into Islands of Adventure, we'd be in great shape. My favorite rides of the day were obviously Monsters Unchained, and also I really enjoyed Hiccup's Wing Gliders coaster. We did get momentarily delayed on that, which kind of sucked in the heat, but it was a very fun and smooth coaster. My one complaint about it would be that the lap bars were digging uncomfortably into my thighs the entire time. I don't know if that's specifically like a back row problem because we were in the last row, but I could not straighten my legs out at all, which caused the lap bar to press into my thighs the whole time. I wouldn't say I have a least favorite ride because honestly, they were all amazing. But I would say probably the most disappointing would have been the Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, just because of the way that the ride is designed. It's a very rough roller coaster. I wasn't a huge fan of just the bumpiness of it. It was very fun, and the visual illusions of broken tracks were incredible, but I think just by design of the ride, it was very rocky, and I didn't like that. In terms of food, we had lunch at Doss Steakhouse in Dark Universe. I got the chicken skewer, which was good. The chicken was a little overcooked and dried out, but the flavor was good. It came with mashed potatoes and some root vegetables. And for dinner, we stopped at Pizza Moon. I got the chicken Alfredo, which was absolutely delicious. I would definitely get that again. I also really loved the 1900s whimsical aesthetic inside Pizza Moon. It's easily one of my it's easily my favorite Universal restaurant, period. Now, I don't love that you seem to have no service counter options at these restaurants. All of them require you to grab a table first and then order your food on the app, which is convenient, but I would at least like the option to pay at a counter. Maybe there was an option and I just wasn't offered it. I don't know, but just kind of weird that that's the default. I guess we do live in the future now, and I'm just an old man yelling at a cloud. I guess my final complaint about the whole day, besides there not being enough shade and too many outdoor rides for the rainy Florida summers, which are 2 points that have been beaten to death by other fans at this point, is the fact that Epic Universe only has one ice cream stand. One ice cream stand in the whole park. Okay, listen. I got to the end of the night, and all day I was melting, sweating, melting. All I wanted was a little sweet iced cream treat at the end of the night. So I go to Frosty Moon in Celestial Park. It's the one and only ice cream stand, apparently. I've been eyeing it all day. And when I get there, bam, no chocolate ice cream. What? What? They were out of chocolate ice cream? I said, okay. Where else can I get ice cream? I'm desperate at this point. The woman was like, sorry, maybe try another portal. I said, okay, fine. There's a concierge desk right there. So I go over to it, and there's like this gaggle of white men with name tags. Maybe they were supervisors. I have no idea. They stop me before they get in line to see if they could help me. Big mistake. Big mistake. Huge. I'm like, listen, dude, where's the ice cream? Because this is crazy. He's like, actually, there's only one ice cream stand, and it's Frosty Moon. And I'm like, illegal. Shut this park down. Reopen it with 7 ice cream stands. Why would you make a park with one ice cream stand? There's no popsicles. There's no Mickey bar equivalents. One ice cream stand, and it's not serving chocolate. He's like, we're so sorry. Why don't you try the chocolate shop at the beginning of the park? Like, that's not really the same thing, is it? They don't sell ice cream there. I want ice cream. I said, okay. I didn't say the last part. 5 lands, 1 ice cream stand. Illegal, immoral, reprehensible. Universal, do better. More ice cream. 2026. But yeah, that's about it. I really enjoyed my day at Epic Universe. I'm not sure when the next time I'll be back is. Unfortunately, it's not available on the annual pass yet, and I cannot keep shelling out $150 per ticket. Maybe later this year, more in the fall when the temperatures cool down and the crowds chill out a little. Maybe I'll revisit it. I'd like to see if they do anything for Halloween or Christmas. That'll certainly draw me back. But overall, I'd give my stay at Stella Nova Resort a 3 out of 5, and I'd give my day at Epic a 4.5 out of 5. I would recommend it, but we got to do something about the ice cream situation, guys. That's all for today, though. Thank you so much for watching. Keep an eye out for my new videos coming soon. I am determined to get back into my usual 2 videos a month schedule, not that the craziness of May and June are over. I've got a vlog coming up from my trip to Utah and Colorado. I've also got a couple of Disney videos lined up for July. And obviously, with more and more Halloween Horror Nights announcements coming, I will be making videos for that in August and September. Much to look forward to on this channel, so subscribe if you want to see more. You can check out my other theme park videos in the playlist up here. I've got the discontinued attractions of Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios Florida, City Walk, and Halloween Horror Nights. My socials are down below if you want to see more from me. Like this video, leave a comment letting me know your favorite Epic Universe ride, if you've been. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!